Television coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofobe, reminding all of our viewers that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. President Bola Tinubu has assured the Nigerian Armed Forces that his administration would never compromise the welfare of troops, promising that he would continue to provide whatever is needed to ease the job of the troops as well as commit more resources to improving their welfare. The president spoke at the inauguration of the Bola Tinubu barracks in Abuja, where he stressed that knowing that the federal government is always ready to provide what the troops need to fulfill their mandates is essential for winning battles. Elsewhere, President Bola Tinubu has joined the government and people of Plateau State in mourning the passing of a former minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Lieutenant General Jeremiah Useni, retired. The elder statesman died on Thursday, January 23, 2025, at the age of 82, following what is now being described as a protracted illness. The president extended condolences to the family, friends, and military colleagues, as well as political associates of the former governor of Old Bendel State, Minister of Transport, and Quartermaster General of the Nigerian Army. The special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, conveyed the president's condolences in a statement. The National Association of Telecommunications (NATCOM) subscribers will engage the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) today as they seek a possible reversal of their 50% telecom tariff hike to 10%. This is coming as the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) signals readiness for protest. The federal government had approved a 50% increase after operators initially requested a 100% hike. However, subscribers are pushing for a 10% adjustment, and if talks fail, they say they plan to file a lawsuit next week to challenge their decision. The federal government has announced plans to build 10,000 housing units under the Renewed Hope Medic Cities initiative. Housing Minister Ahmed Dangiwa revealed the plan during a meeting with the leadership of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors in Abuja. The project, which is being led by the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development in collaboration with the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Health, and the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, aims to provide affordable and decent housing for medical professionals across the country. Assistant Inspector General of Police AIG in charge of Zone 7 Command in Abuja, Bennett Igwe, has called on the divisional police officers, DPOs, in Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory to sensitize the public on the danger of scooping fuel from falling tankers. Igwe made the call when he visited the scene of the recent tanker explosion at Diko Junction. He said the incident was a stark reminder of the need for vigilance and safety in communities, noting that the tragedy highlighted the critical importance of safety on the roads and the need for strict compliance with road traffic regulations. In auto security matters, the Nigerian Air Force says its air component of Operation Fansanyama has killed scores of bandits and dismantled their logistics base at Alawa Forest in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. This is contained in a statement by the Director of Nigeria Air Force Public Relations, Air Vice Marshal Olushola Akinboyewa. He said the air strike was a significant achievement in its counter-terrorism campaign, noting that the operation was based on credible intelligence and follow-up confirmatory aerial surveillance efforts, which indicated an influx of armed terrorists into the forest. A federal high court in Abuja has proscribed the Lakurawa sect and declared it as a terrorist organization. The court also designated other similar groups in any part of Nigeria, especially in the northwest and north-central zones of the country, as terrorist organizations. Justice James Omotosho, in a ruling on the ex parte originating summons filed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi SAN, declared that an order is hereby made declaring the activities of the Lakurawa sect and other similar groups in any part of Nigeria as acts of terrorism and illegality. Let's let you into the aviation sector now, where the Managing Director of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, Olubunmi Kuku, has threatened that when she's tired of her role as the boss of the agency, she will throw in the towel. Kuku said this while fielding aviation industry-based questions, stating that she has stepped on toes and will step on more people's toes, although with caution. She also responded to criticisms that have greeted her claim that 580 billion naira is required to fix obsolete runways across the country, appeals to all who care to understand the need for the money to find out what it takes to take care of aviation infrastructure. In the meantime, the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development and the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority have been urged to revisit a draft policy proposing stricter sanctions on airlines for the increasing number of flight delays and cancellations across the country. The federal government, through the Central Resource Delivery Coordination Unit, made this recommendation during a performance assessment meeting held at the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development in Abuja. Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination and Head of the units, Hadiza Bala Usman, said the meeting was part of the ongoing review of the first two-third quarters 2024 performance assessment reports on the implementation of presidential priorities and ministerial deliverables. Now we turn to Nigeria Southwest, where Lagos State Technical and Vocational Education Board, LASDVEB, has reiterated its commitment to providing gender-inclusive technical education to Lagosians. Speaking at the annual management retreat with the theme Technical and Vocational Training Key to Sustainable Development, Executive Secretary of the agency, Moronke Aziz, noted that LASDVEB had advanced significantly from a time when technical colleges were dismissed as mere dump sites for failures. Hence, she urged participants to remain focused and dedicated to achieving the agency's goals. The state government also expressed its resolve to establish itself as the national leader in providing excellent and equitable technical and vocational training in the country. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, has urged the 10,000 newly passed out constables of the Nigeria Police Force to prioritize professionalism, fairness, and friendliness in the discharge of their duties. The police boss delivered this message at the passing out parade of the 2022 batch held at the Police Training School, Bauchi. Represented by Commissioner of Police Bauchi State Command, Anwar Mohammed, Egbetokun stated that the ceremony marked the culmination of a 6-month rigorous training program conducted at 4 premier colleges and 12 police training schools nationwide. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, says food security is a fundamental right of citizens and not a privilege. He made this known in Abuja while delivering his keynote remarks as the special guest of honor at a dialogue centered on food security. The Speaker, represented by the House Committee Chairman on Nutrition and Food Security, DK John Okafo, said the National Assembly is committed to a comprehensive allocation for nutrition and food security programs in the country. He lamented that Nigeria faces high rates of malnutrition, particularly among the children, with a significant proportion of them suffering from stunted growth and nutrition deficiencies. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, mining marshals have unveiled their strategic operational plans for 2025. The Corps spokesperson, Babawale Afolabi, made the revelation in a statement stressing that the operational plans will be focusing on intensified field operations, strengthened regulatory compliance, and a renewed campaign against illegal mining activities. Additionally, the marshals aim to deepen their collaboration with the Mining Cadre Office to enhance the effectiveness of their mandate. This is Global Television, and you're watching the live broadcast of Midday News coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. When the rest of the news returns, Russian drones kill 3 near Kiev as Ukraine launches barrage. We have those details from the foreign scene as well as stories from business and sports for you. Do stay with us. We appreciate your time with us on the news. We now continue the media news with business, where the chairman of the Presidential Committee of Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, has expressed optimism about Nigeria's inflation trajectory for 2025, asserting that the country could achieve a significant reduction from the average inflation rate of 34.80% in 2024 to 15%. Oyedele said this at the PwC and Business Day Executive Roundtable on Nigeria's 2025 budgets and economic outlook, with the theme Insights and Strategies for Navigating Nigeria's Economic, Fiscal and Policy Landscape in 2025, held in Lagos State. He outlined the factors influencing inflation and emphasized the structural reforms being implemented by the government. In a similar vein, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry (LCCI) has projected a reduction in interest rates in the coming months as inflation shows signs of easing. Speaking at a press briefing for the Chamber's 2025 Outlook in Lagos, LCCI President Gabriel Idahosa noted that the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) is likely to adopt an easing posture soon. The Chamber expressed concern over the impact of high interest rates on the private sector, which it described as the backbone of Nigeria's economy. The federal government, through the Debt Management Office (DMO), has announced plans to raise 450 billion naira through its January 2025 bond auction. This figure surpasses the 360 billion naira offered in January 2024 and the 120 billion naira from December 2024, and is part of efforts to bridge the fiscal deficits and meet financial obligations while providing investment opportunities for both institutional and individual investors. The bond auction, scheduled for January 27, 2025, features a combination of reopened and newly issued bonds designed to appeal to a diverse range of investors. Oil marketers have expressed optimism about the rehabilitation of Nigeria's 21 depots by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL), following the recent revival of the Port Harcourt and Warri refineries by the company. Although the National Oil Company has promised to get the depots running, dealers in the downstream oil sector say it is important to hasten the revamp of the facilities, as this would increase the gains of having functional refineries in Nigeria. They urged the national oil firm to take immediate and decisive steps to restore all inactive fuel depots owned by the company across the country. Now time to take it beyond Nigeria's shores on the news. Air pollution in the Thai capital has forced the closure of more than 350 schools. Seasonal air pollution has not affected Thailand like many countries in the region. However, this week's hazy conditions have shuttered most schools since 2020. Authorities now say Bangkok Metropolitan Administration has closed 352 schools across 31 districts due to air pollution, and people are urged to work from home, and heavy vehicles in the city have been restricted. The Met Office has issued red weather warnings, meaning there is a danger to life as storm Ian batters the United Kingdom. The worst disruption is due to hit Northern Ireland and parts of Scotland, with gusts of up to 100 miles per hour, equivalent to 161 kilometers per hour, expected in some coastal areas. Millions of people are being urged to stay at home and not travel during the storm, and widespread travel disruption is expected, with some flights and ferry crossings already cancelled. Now let's turn to the United States, where immigration agents have raided business establishments in New York, New Jersey, and detained undocumented residents as well as citizens, including a U.S. military veteran. The city's mayor said the raid in New Jersey's most popular city, hailed in the past by Mayor Ras Baraka for its sanctuary policies protecting migrants, following President Donald Trump's pledge to deport millions of immigrants who are in the U.S. illegally. President Trump had issued a raft of executive orders after taking office that aimed to clamp down on illegal immigration. He has taken steps to punish officials who resist enforcement of his sweeping crackdown. Russian aerial attacks near Kyiv have killed 3 people and wounded several others. Ukrainian officials now say while Ukrainian drones targeted sites in 12 Russian regions, halting work at one factory, Moscow has launched drone or missile attacks almost every day on the capital since it launched its invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, ostensibly targeting military and energy facilities. Black smoke billowed from a residential building damaged in the Russian strike as rescue workers hauled out the bodies of the victims, as according to official images from the scene. Let's catch some quick excitement from the world of sports now. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has ruled out the Super Eagles among the top 5 favorite teams to watch in this year's Africa Cup of Nations. However, the reigning African Player of the Year, Super Eagles and Atalanta of Italy striker Ademola Lookman, has been listed as one of the top stars to watch at the 2025 AFCON holding in Morocco later in the year. The championship is returning to Morocco 37 years after the 1988 edition won by Cameroon. Kyle Walker is set to move from Manchester City to Milan after the two clubs agreed terms. Walker will join the Italian side alone until the end of the season. Milan also have an option to make the move permanent in the summer, but there is no obligation built into the agreement. The 34-year-old England defender is expected in Milan to complete the deal. And now a quick look at tennis for you. Defending champion Aryna Sabalenka has put her close friendship with Paula Badosa's side to sweep past the Spaniard into a third successive Australian Open final. The Belarusian world number 1 came home 6-4, 6-2 on World Level Arena and will meet either Polish second seed Iga Swiatek or American 19th seed Madison Keys in Saturday's decider. The hard, fast courts of Melbourne Park have been the 26-year-old's happy place as he has now won 20 straight matches at the Australian Open to close in on a third consecutive crown. Novak Djokovic was brought off court by some Australian Open fans after retiring injured from his semi-final against Alexander Zverev. Djokovic, who was bidding for a record-extending 11th title, quits after losing the first set 7-6 in 80 minutes. The 37-year-old Serb has had his super left leg heavily taped after injuring it in Tuesday's quarterfinal win over Carlos Alcaraz. He says he will return to the Australian Open next year if he's still fit, healthy and motivated. Of course, you've got to keep your eye on the ball always. And that's a wrap on Global TV Media News here. Came to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. We would love to remind you, as always, that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, Star Times 276, and Nightcom Stars are free to air. Don't forget to interact and engage with us across social media platforms using @Global TVNG as well as other handles as you now see on the screen. I'm Uyi Agmofobe saying a big thank you to you for watching. We will see you soon.